Hi and welcome to Outdoor World Direct. Today we're going to take a look at the Outwell Airville 6SA family tent. This is a very popular inflatable family tent by Outwell. It's part of their superior air collection of tents. There's three ranges in Outwell's air collections of tents. There's the Prime Air, which is their entry-level family tents. There's the Superior Air, which is their premium family tents in polyester. So this is a 150 denier polyester tent. And then they have their Imperial collection of family tents, which are their polycotton top of the range family tents. But this one's, it's not a middleman, it is a premium family tent. And what you get with the Superior Air collection is a lot of features which I'll quickly run through. First of all, you get the power air system. So it's a very simple inflatable system. Each beam is individual and you inflate each one manually. You also get bracer beams throughout the tent. So a lot of tents just have standalone tubes and that's that. But with these, we have bracers throughout the tent, and bracer beams are great because they help maintain the structure of the tent and they make it nice and solid in the windy conditions as well. Secondly, what you get with the premium range is you get an Outex 150 denier polyester fabric. So that's quite a thick fabric compared to some of the entry-level models, which are 70 denier. So this is 150 denier. That means it's going to take longer to wear down, it means it's going to take longer to fade, and it means it'll be stronger in the elements. So you can probably use it a little bit earlier in the year than you might do with a summer tent, which is like a 70 denier polyester. It's worth noting this is a 2021 model, so the 2022 models of Premium Air, of Superior Air, they're going to go to a 250 denier. So what you will find is that the 2021 models in the Superior Air range are all 150 denier, but for the 2022 range they're going to go to a 250 denier ripstop fabric, so they are going to be stronger again for 2022. So it's always worth checking what year model you buy in just to see which fabric you're getting, because it will impact the strength of the tent and the weight. However, what I would say, the 2021 model, it's a great product. You know, 150 denier is still a very, very strong fabric. So what else you get for your money when you go up a level and go to Superior Air? You also get the quick and quiet doors. So we've got a door going into the living space just behind me, which I'll show you shortly, has quick and quiet on it. And what that is it's magnetic doors. They're still backed by zips, but you can enter the tent noiselessly. And if you've got kids, that's great, because if they're asleep, you can just enter the sleeping compartment and check they're okay without waking them, without the loud zips. Secondly, we have darkened inners in Superior Air, so that the inner tents are a bit darker, which we'll come to a little bit later on. And also you have a trolley wheel bag, so it's easier to roll around the campsite. Once you're on your pitch, you're not lifting it everywhere, you can just put it on the ground and roll it to where you want to set the tent up. And the same goes when you've set it back down and you've packed it away, you can then roll it to the car and then just pick it and put it into the car. The tent weighs 43.6 kilograms, that's for the 2021 version. The 2022 version will be heavier because it's a thicker fabric. And its pack size is 100 centimeters by 51 centimeters by 51. So it will go in most car boots. I would say with it being over that kind of 35 kilogram mark, you might want two of you to lift it in and out of the car, though you can manage with one person lifting it in and out of the car. The other great thing about the Superior Air range is the rear of the tent. You get the extra wide ventilation points, so you get a lot of ventilation into this tent, which I'll show you later in the video. So to quickly cover some more key features of the Superior Air range, with the Airville you get the tinted PVC windows, which will help to reflect the sunlight. So if you sat inside the tent and the sun is glaring, you shouldn't get that glare off the sun that you normally get if you sat inside the tent. Because the windows will help to reflect that. Secondly, because they're tinted, they will offer a bit more privacy. So if you were looking outside the tent you shouldn't be able to see as easily inside the tent. Now when you're inside the tent looking out, you've still got perfect views of the surroundings. You've also got zipped privacy curtains on the living space windows, and you also have zipped dividers in the sleeping compartments as well, which we'll come to. The tent has a free zone design. So that means we've got 3 levels of the tent. We've got the entry area, which is the porch area here to the front. There is a ground sheet for this area. It comes with the tent. We always choose to leave them out so people don't trip it up inside our showroom. But this area is great if you've got wet clothes, muddy boots, if the weather's bad and you did want to do a bit of cooking in there and leave these doors open for ventilation. This area is really handy for that, and it's just a great storage area. You can use it for socialising as well if the weather's good, or if you've got the space here, or if the kids are sleeping at the back of the tent and you want to be a bit quieter by coming further into this area. You've also got storm straps to the front of the tent as well. They're quite handy as well. The front and the rear of the tent are typically the places that take a battering from the weather, so putting webbing straps on them helps secure them. The living space is usually a bit more secure, but on these front porch areas you do want webbing straps on superior tents because it's just going to help brace it against the weather a little bit more. So the Outwell front porch area is a really useful space for storage, as we've kind of covered already. This front door can obviously be fully closed. You can also open it halfway, as we have here, or you can completely roll it back. It's up to you. Also, the front door does have windows in either side. They are covered by privacy curtains if you so wish to cover them up of an evening. Those privacy curtains are actually toggled on these front doors. However, we do have a window to my left and to my right, and they both have zipped privacy curtains. You also have some mesh points down here at the bottom, and I'm sure there'll be one down there as well, which again just gets some more airflow into this area. We've also got the hook track system on the front beam as well. Now, hook track is it's quite a clever system where it's built into the beam framework, and you can just hang lighting from the actual from the front beam or these central beams as well, and that's really accessories. Also, we've got, I'll show you on this side because you'll be able to see it a bit better, but we have got some storage pods built in to the actual fly sheet. These are good for like sandals, magazines, books, that kind of thing. Nothing too heavy, but you know, just put lightweight stuff in there, and it just gets it off the ground and out the way, and away from your living space to help keep that area clean and tidy. So this is the quick and quiet door. It's on both the door into the tent and it's on the sleeping compartment doors as well. The whole idea of this door is that if you're in and out of the tent, you don't have to keep zipping it up and down, which number one's quite noisy, number two, it's a pain to keep doing. So with this, you can literally just enter the tent, and then when you let this go, it will fold back together. Now, say you're going to go into sleep for the night, or you're out for the day, you can actually zip the door properly. And once you zip that door properly, the quick and quiet access no longer works. So this quick and quiet access, it's actually more handy, I think, on the sleeping compartments, because if you've got kids and you haven't got the baby monitor with you or stuff like that, and you just want to quickly check they're okay, you can just pop your head in using the quick and quiet door just to check everything's all right, and then you're not using the zip, which is quite loud and wakes people up all the time. So it's a great innovation by Outwell, and it's really helped kind of that ease of going in and out the tent without having to wrestle with a zip every time. And zips, you know, they get caught, they get snagged, you can easily damage them, so the less zips you're using, sometimes the better, really. So taking a look at the interior living space of the Airville 6SA, what we have done is I've quickly zipped back this door that had the quick and quiet access. So as well as that access point that you have with that door, you can also zip it and completely fold it back to create a really large open space throughout the tent. Now, if you don't want to do that and you want to keep this sealed, you simply zip it back up, and you'll notice the ground sheet actually has a zip along the bottom, so you can fully seal the tent from the bugs. It's a completely sealed area once you zip everything up. So the second thing to point out in this area is we've got a lot of mesh ventilation points. We've got a large door here which has a large secondary mesh panel. We've also got a mesh panel on the wing lounge, and we've also got the mesh window on this door here. So that helps to get a lot of breathability and airflow into this tent. Polyester, once it's waterproofed, it will not breathe. It's not a great fabric for breathability. So it's great for waterproofing because it's very waterproof, But as hard as it is for the water to get in, it's also hard for the moisture to escape. And what you get is a build-up of condensation around the beams. So to alleviate this, we've put a lot of mesh panels in. We've put one here, one there, and we've put a mesh window on the front, and that just helps give you a lot of airflow throughout the tent. Typically, the more money you spend on a tent, you'll notice the more ventilation it has. Mesh, it costs money to put into a tent, so the more they put in, the more the cost of the tent goes up, but it really does make for a more comfortable experience. You also have a large mesh vent on the back of the tent as well, where the sleeping compartments are, to keep that area comfortable. So if we look at the main living space of the tent now, we've got the two main beams. They've both got this hook track system on that we've quickly talked about, and that has the lighting strips that you can attach. So you can go and get a strip light and put that in there. You can get these bulb sets, the Epsilon bulb set, and hang it. It keeps it nice and tidy. It keeps the wires out the way so nobody's tripping over them. It's a really good system as the hook track, and you literally just use the hooks to clip onto it. It's very, very, very simple. We've also got this large wing lounge area which has become really popular. It's a great area to sit and relax, and some people have been setting projector screens up on this side of the tent, and they'll sit in this area and relax. You've got full standing height pretty much throughout the tent. It does become a little bit lower as you go into this wing lounge, but I can still just about stand up in this area. You've got a fully sewn in ground sheet throughout the living space and underneath the sleeping compartments as well. So the last thing to discuss on the Outwell Airville 6SA family tent is the sleeping compartment. Now, Outwell put into their superior air range, they put in the Ambassador master bedroom. So you might be wondering what that is. Well, first of all, we've got the quick and quiet access on it. So again, you can get noiseless access into the sleeping compartment. It also has the zip there so that you can close that off if you go into sleep and you're worried about somebody just coming into the tent and noiselessly accessing this area while you're sleeping. So you can close it off. The second thing you get is a better depth in the bedroom. So a lot of tents are about a 210 centimetre depth, and what that means is they won't take a camp bed, but this is a 230 centimetre depth. So it's a longer bedroom, and that means you can get a camp bed in there. You can get larger air beds, that kind of thing, into this sleeping compartment without putting them this way, sideways. They can come out lengthways towards the camera. Okay, so we've got one large inner with the Ambassador bedroom, but it also has a zipped compartment divider. Now that zip divider, you can simply unzip it and make this into one large space, or you can zip it up and change the configuration to 2 lots of 3. So it depends on how you want to use it. The last thing that you get with these Ambassador bedrooms is you get mesh panels here, which are backed by a privacy curtain, and you get a large mesh panel to the rear of the tent. So this large mesh panel at the back, it has a window cover on it at the moment, but if it's a really warm night, you can actually unclip the cover, roll it back, and then you've got another mesh panel on the actual fly sheet. And the idea is you get some breathability into the sleeping area on a really warm night. The only problem with doing that is that when the sun comes up, it is going to obviously fill this area with light, because at the moment this is a darkened fabric and the window covers are darkened. So once you zip this all up and you turn your lantern off, it's a really dark sleeping compartment as well. Now it does sleep 6 people, this inner tent, but I would say personally to put 4 people in here, because you don't want it to be too claustrophobic. So I would say 2 in each compartment, and that gives you comfortable space either side of your camp bed or your air bed or your mat, just to get in and out of the inner tent if you need to. So just finally, I'd just like to let you know there's a couple of optional extras that you can get for this tent if you so wish. The first one is a footprint ground sheet. It covers the sewn-in living space of the tent, the wing lounge and the sleeping compartments. You would put the footprint ground sheet down first and you would pitch the tent on top of it. It's an absolute godsend when you come to take the tent down, because the underside of the tent should be completely bone dry and you can pack your tent away nice and dry. It also prevents any accidental damage. The second accessory is the flat woven carpet, which goes into the ground sheet living space and covers the wing lounge again, and that just takes the cold edge off the ground. So they're the 2 main accessories you can get for the tent, and they do help to add more comfort. I would say a footprint on a tent of this value is an absolute must purchase, and we do deals on our bundle deals, and we usually put a footprint or something like that, or a discount off the footprint. So do check out the bundles. So to recap on this tent then, it's the Airville 6 Superior Air Tent. So it's part of the premium range of polyester tents from Outwell. You get a brilliant 150 denier tent if you buy the 2021 version. If you buy the 2022, you're getting a 250 denier tent, so just check what year model you're purchasing. Further to this, we've got the tinted windows, we've got the free zone design, you've got the ambassador master bedrooms, which are quite deep and spacious. It's just jam-packed full of features. You get a lot of features out of your tent for this money. It's perfect for the camper that perhaps is a bit more of a religious camper in terms of they tend to go quite often throughout the summer, or they might be out earlier in the season or later in the season. So that's the type of market this is aimed at. It's not typically your first time buyer, it's that person that really loves their camping and is going to go out quite a lot. Thanks for joining us today. If you've got any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments box. Cheers.